You already know what I am about to say. Deep down, beneath the anger and the hurt, you already know that explaining yourself one more time will change nothing. You already know the perfect paragraph you have been drafting in your head will not make them understand. You already know they are not going to apologize, but you keep trying anyway. And every time you do, you walk away more exhausted and more broken than before. Today, I am going to show you 7 Stoic laws for letting people go in complete silence. Not out of weakness, but out of a level of self-respect so deep that you simply refuse to spend one more second begging for what you already deserve. Stay until Law 7. It will permanently change the way you see every painful experience you have ever had. The first trap most people fall into is believing they need a final conversation. They call it closure. They think that if they sit across from that person one last time and speak with enough clarity and enough emotion, a light will turn on. The other person will finally understand. They will apologize. Everything will make sense. But this is a psychological illusion. When you demand closure from someone who hurt you, you are handing your emotional recovery to the exact person who caused the wound. A person who did not respect your feelings while you were together will not suddenly respect them on your way out. They will shift the blame. They will rewrite the story. You will leave more confused and more drained than before. Epictetus taught that we must separate what is in our control from what is not. You cannot force accountability from someone committed to avoiding it. Requiring their apology to heal is a direct violation of your own freedom. True closure is never external. You give it to yourself with your own hands, and you walk out of the room. The second law is about understanding what toxic people are actually feeding on. When someone provokes you, crosses your limits, or disrespects you, they are not operating on logic. They are operating on an addiction to your reaction. They need your anger. They need your desperate messages. Your emotional response is the only currency they came for. Your silence is the only weapon that completely neutralizes this. When you respond with absolute stillness, you strip them of their power instantly. Imagine throwing a stone into a canyon and never hearing it hit the bottom. That is what your non-reaction does to someone hunting for your pain. You withdraw quietly, completely, and you let them sit in the suffocating vacuum of their own behavior. The third law is one most people violate without realizing it. After someone hurts us, we want them to see us thriving. We craft the right posts, make sure the right people know the right things, and quietly hope the story reaches them. But if everything you are doing is designed to be seen by the person who broke you, you are still being controlled by them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Letting go in silence means dropping the performance entirely. You build your life with no announcement and no audience. The ultimate power move is not showing them you are happy. It is genuinely forgetting to care whether they notice. The fourth law is the hardest to accept. Anger feels like protection, but Seneca saw through it clearly. To be angry is to punish yourself for the mistakes of another. Every hour you spend replaying what they did is an hour of your life donated to someone who already took enough from you. You must transform that anger into clinical detachment, not suppression. Detachment is the recognition that their behavior is simply a fact of nature, like a storm or a poisonous plant. You do not scream at a poisonous plant for being poisonous. You recognize what it is, step around it, and move on. When you see them through this lens, they stop being a powerful villain. They shrink into a flawed, confused human being, acting out of their own unhealed wounds. You process the data, to update your understanding, and quietly remove their access to your life. The fifth law will challenge you if you are someone who cares deeply. Many of us cannot let go because we are addicted to saving the other person. We see their potential. We convince ourselves that one more conversation, one more act of patience will finally unlock who they could be. But Epictetus was clear. You cannot force reason into a mind committed to chaos. Staying and bleeding for someone does not make you noble. It makes you a willing participant in your own destruction. When you walk away in silence, you hand them back the full weight of their own choices. You are not abandoning them. You are refusing to carry a responsibility that was never yours. The sixth law is about surviving what comes after. Some of the hardest part of walking away is not the moment you leave. It is the quiet that follows, the space where their chaos used to live. Even when that chaos was toxic, it was familiar. And when it is gone, the silence feels unbearable. This is the moment most people break. They mistake the discomfort of stillness for evidence that they made the wrong choice. They reach out. They invite the poison back in simply because it is familiar. But that discomfort is not a warning. It is a clearing. Every time you feel the urge to break your silence and choose not to, your foundation becomes stronger. You are proving to yourself that you can survive the absence of anyone. Sit in the void. Let it pass. The temporary pain of silence is the price of permanent peace. And now, Law 7, the one that changes everything. As long as you see what happened as a tragedy, you remain a victim of it. You look back at the time and energy you gave, and you feel cheated. But Stoicism offers a concept that dissolves this entirely. Amor fati, the love of your fate, not passive acceptance. An active embrace of what happened as necessary. When you look back at that betrayal and say thank you, not because what they did was right, but because it forced you to wake up. It pushed you to a limit you had never reached. And at that limit, you discovered boundaries you did not know you had. You built a standard of self-respect that can never be taken again. Without their disrespect, you might have spent years accepting far less than you deserve. They were not a mistake. They were a mandatory phase of your evolution. When you see them that way, the resentment dissolves. But you let them go in silence, not out of bitterness, but out of a quiet recognition that their chapter is complete, and the next one belongs entirely to you. True power does not argue. It does not beg. It does not chase. It is the discipline to feel the urge to fight, to explain, to perform, and to choose stillness instead. The silence you leave behind will say more than any argument ever could. And in that silence, you will finally hear the only voice that has ever mattered, your own. If this resonated, hit the like button and drop in the comments which of the 7 laws you needed most today. I read every single one. The next video goes deeper into the Stoic principles behind building a mind that no one can touch. Subscribe so you are there when it drops. I will see you in the next one.